Today, Ben, much has been made of the distinction between the president supporting a ceasefire and specifically calling for a ceasefire. What is the difference in that language?
Well, having written many of those types of statements and readouts myself, Lawrence, I think it's a difference between taking a passive approach where you want to be seen as for an outcome. We'd like a ceasefire, but you don't want to be seen in any way to be publicly pressing Israel to take that step. They're clearly trying to navigate between a desire to not be out of step with Israel and the Israeli government and the fact that there's growing, I think, horror and revulsion at the civilian casualties we see in Gaza and a growing feeling in the Democratic Party of why do we continue to give a blank check to a prime minister, Bibi Netanyahu, who has shown no interest in peace with the Palestinians and, frankly, was Donald Trump's best friend and has undermined Democratic presidents before.
Ben, take us inside the way the discussion goes inside the White House in a situation like this. Certainly, there must be some people in the White House advocating that the president should call for a ceasefire. Others were advocating for this other position. How does that debate go? What is the argument against calling for a ceasefire?
Well, I've been in this debate about Gaza conflicts myself, Lawrence. I think that the argument against is probably, look, we'll be better able to influence what Netanyahu does if we are backing him publicly and pressing him privately. And you heard the administration say repeatedly today that these intense diplomatic conversations, that's kind of code for them saying, trust us, we're telling them privately that we have to move to a ceasefire. But we fear that if we go public with that then Netanyahu might want a conflict with us and might want to resist us. I think that's one side of the equation. I think the other side of the equation is people saying, hey, look, we're losing moral authority in the world right now, where we're essentially totally isolated in not calling for this ceasefire in a situation where we see these horrible images out of Gaza. And frankly, Netanyahu hasn't listened to us in the past on issues related to the Palestinians anyway. And there's valid points on both sides of those debates, Lawrence, but I think clearly they've chosen the pathway of not wanting to have any public daylight with Netanyahu and try to handle this all privately.
And Ben, I take it this is one of those presidential situations that when everyone leaves the room and the decision is made on the language, everyone knows that this holds for about the next few hours, not the next few days.
That's right. And what you saw is everybody using the same language, from Tony Blinken to Jen Psaki. But they also know that this is fluid and the next day circumstances will change. I think part of what's so tragic, Lawrence, in these Gaza wars, as you get close to the end, sometimes the pace of the Israeli strikes pick up because they're trying to hit every target that they can before it moves to a ceasefire, before they feel like the international pressure is so great that they have to move in that direction. And so when you're in the White House, particularly in a situation when you're dealing with a conflict where we have a lot of agency, right? We provide a lot of that military assistance to Israel, but we're not in control. You're not sure what you're going to wake up to.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.